Poisoned at the Grocery Store, Part 3 by Marko, Vovk. The book link is below and available on Amazon. Factory-farmed meats like beef, pork, and lamb fill the perimeter aisles of nearly every grocery store. These animals are fed a constant diet of genetically modified corn and soy, crops engineered for fast growth and sprayed with herbicides like glyphosate. These chemicals build up in the feed and ultimately in the meat itself. The goal? Bigger, fatter animals in less time. GMO grains change animals' digestion, impacting their fat profile, and each step in the industrial process is designed for speed, not nutrition. Feed in most feedlots is routinely supplemented with growth-promoting additives. Synthetic hormones are implanted to speed weight gain and boost marbling, and antibiotics are added not just to fight infection, but also to make the animals grow even faster. Let's break it down by animal. Beef cattle in conventional feedlots receive hormone implants at various stages, especially in the final months before slaughter. These hormones boost weight and muscle, but also leave measurable traces in meat. Though these traces are described as minuscule by industry, many researchers raise concerns about hormone-sensitive cancers and reproductive disorders, especially with years of eating lots of red meat. Pork is fed GMO corn and soy daily, sometimes with a side of ractopamine, a chemical banned in 160 countries, but still used in the US to accelerate pork growth. Lamb, often thought of as pure, is frequently grain-finished and can be given antibiotics in crowded pens to control disease outbreaks. This strategy isn't about health, it's about efficiency, and the result is cheaper protein that might carry a major health price. Animals raised on fast-growing GMO grains gain more fat, but their fat is not as healthy. It is lower in omega-3s, higher in inflammatory omega-6, and heavier in saturated fat than meat from grass-fed, pasture-raised animals. Conventional beef and pork offer less vitamin E and fewer carotenoids, having lost many natural antioxidants and bioactive nutrients in the factory farm process. Worse, the acidic gut bacteria fostered by grain-fed cattle encourage more dangerous strains of E. coli, which can survive even poorly cooked burgers and quietly make people sick. For the average consumer, that means mass-market meats are more inflammatory, less heart-healthy, and add risk for diabetes, cancer, and other chronic diseases driven by inflammation. It's not just the muscle cuts you need to worry about. Modern factory farming and processing use every part of the animal. Organs, bones, skin, and fat are ground up and rendered into franken foods. These byproducts become the base for hot dogs, sausages, lunch meat, meatballs, and a wide variety of processed meats often labeled as byproducts, meat meal, or bone meal on the ingredient list. Collagen from skin and bones is boiled into gelatin for candies and desserts. Once nutrient-rich, organ meats are now diluted with starch, gums, and preservatives, making them a shadow of their natural, whole food selves. Even the grass-fed label isn't a simple guarantee of health. Not all grass-fed beef or lamb is truly pasture-raised. Some animals start on grass, then get shipped to feedlots for grain finishing, or graze on fields contaminated by years of pesticide use. Grass-finished meats are better. They offer more omega-3s, less saturated fat, and more antioxidants, but they still miss key fiber and come from the top of the food chain, where environmental toxins gather. Research shows that grass-fed cattle may even produce more methane per animal, while some grass-fed labeling is pure marketing, especially at bigger grocery chains. The perimeter meat section isn't the nutrition haven it once seemed. What's for sale is more than protein. It's a mix of industrial science, growth promoters, antibiotics, and sometimes questionable animal welfare. Diets heavy in processed and factory farm meats lead to higher inflammation, weight gain, digestive trouble, and more risk for heart disease and cancer. Many shoppers think eating from the perimeter is healthy, but in truth, the safety and quality of grocery store meat now depend as much on industry, profits, and chemistry as on farming. Modern meat production is a maze of industrial tricks that go far beyond raising animals on pasture. Most beef, pork, and lamb in the store comes from concentrated animal feeding operations, CAFOs, where thousands of animals live crowded together, eating a steady diet of genetically modified feed and chemical additives. These feeds, engineered for speed and weight gain, are laced with antibiotics, not just to prevent disease in tight spaces, but to boost growth as well. Growth hormones, beta agonists, and enzyme treatments banned in much of the world are still routine in U.S. beef and pork, making animals reach market size at record speed. The tricks don't stop once the animal is slaughtered. Processors treat muscle cuts and trimmings with a variety of chemicals. Red meat and poultry are routinely washed with chlorine, peracetic acid, or lactic acid in a bid to kill bacteria, but these chemical washes can leave residues that disrupt gut health. Meat is preserved and enhanced with injected salts, phosphates, sugars, colorants, and even meat glue enzymes like transglutaminase, binding together scraps to form uniform steaks or roast shapes. These additives keep meat moist, artificially pink, and seemingly fresh for weeks, but reduce nutrition and transparency. To maximize profit, every edible bit of the animal is used. Bones and connective tissue end up in broths, bouillon, and fillers. Organs, fat, and trimmings become ground, emulsified, and sold as hot dogs, sausages, nuggets, and deli meats. Some byproducts are hydrolyzed into protein powders or pet food, masking both the source and quality from shoppers. If the label says byproduct, meat meal, or mechanically separated, be wary. These are the leftovers of modern meat packing. Even packaging hides secrets. High oxygen or carbon monoxide packs keep meat red and attractive beyond its real freshness, disguising spoilage. Enhanced or pre-seasoned cuts are injected with brine and flavors to pump up weight and sodium, often at the expense of actual nutritional value. All of these factory practices turn the meat section into an invisible health risk. Residues from antibiotics, hormones, and chemical washes build up in our bodies and can promote antibiotic resistance, hormone disruption, gut changes, and long-term inflammation. Processed and cured meats pose an even greater danger. Nitrites and chemical preservatives react with proteins to create nitrosamines, powerful carcinogens tied directly to digestive cancers and chronic disease. Every shortcut drops nutritional value. Real protein is replaced by fillers, salt, fat, and mystery additives. In short, the perimeter meat section is a far cry from purity. Modern business turns what could be wholesome food into a chemistry lab experiment. The more shortcuts, enhancers, and byproducts end up on our plates, the further we drift from real nutrition and the more risk we take with our health. Even cuts that look fresh conceal a story written by boardrooms, not open pasture. The process is even grimmer for broiler chickens. From the moment they hatch, these birds face confinement and chemical management. Born in massive hatcheries, most never see their mothers, just industrial lights and endless crowds. Tens of thousands are crammed together in sheds, unable to walk or support their bodies as they outpace normal growth. Many develop twisted legs, collapsed breast muscles, or deformed wings. Living conditions are strictly engineered for temperature and light, but make no allowance for comfort or animal welfare. For chicken, profit and speed come first, health and nature last. Chickens eat concentrated mixes of GMO corn and soy, rendered animal byproducts, and relentless feed additives, all engineered to drive maximum weight gain. Their water is medicated throughout their short lives. Antibiotics are delivered as a matter of course, not just for disease, but to make them grow faster in crowded barns. Chickens are injected with vaccines, and sometimes the same types used for cattle and pigs, trying to stave off viral or bacterial outbreaks that sweep through these giant complexes. Chemicals aren't just in their feed or water. Many chickens receive hormones, banned in some countries, legal or overlooked in others. Often, even after slaughter, the birds are injected with saline, dextrose, or soy oil to plump up the meat and increase weight at the checkout. In a shocking twist, some chickens headed for discount brands are processed at sea on floating factories, out of reach of EPA or FDA oversight. Once processed, chicken is flash frozen or doused with preservatives, then shipped to meat counters or freezer aisles across the country. But it's not just drumsticks or breasts you're buying. Factory farmed chicken is fully commoditized. Bones and skin are ground for nuggets, patties, or hot dogs. Organs are blitzed into chicken paste for deli meats or pet food. Collagen tissues become broth cubes and extenders. The supermarket overflows with cheap, heavily processed chicken made from every scrap, and a laundry list of fillers, stabilizers, and artificial flavors. Eating this ultra-engineered chicken leads to real health risks. Residual antibiotics and hormones disrupt digestive health, promote antibiotic resistance, and can trigger hormonal changes, especially risky for children. Processed chicken is higher in saturated fat, lower in omega-3s, and often contains less protein ounce for ounce than birds raised with natural diets. Industrially produced chicken amplifies allergies, inflammation, and metabolic problems, while early life exposure is linked to bigger risks for behavioral, developmental, and immune disorders. In the end, that fresh chicken in the grocer's case is no mere cut of protein. It's the final product of genetic selection, chemical cocktails, industrial shortcuts, and regulatory loopholes. The meat is stripped of depth and nutrition, pumped up with water and additives, and finished off with health risks that come from reshaping nature for higher profit. Choosing from the meat section's location does not protect you. In the world of modern food, even wings can't fly, and quick growth always brings slow, invisible costs. The perimeter fish counter may seem like the last oasis of freshness, but that shimmering display is often anything but. More than half, over 56%, of all seafood eaten worldwide is now farmed, not wild caught. And for certain staples like shrimp and tilapia, it's closer to 90%. Most of it comes from Asia, especially China, Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia, with a growing share also raised in massive indoor tanks, ponds, or sea cages in the US and Europe. Wild caught means the seafood actually lived free in a river, lake, or ocean, caught directly from its natural habitat, but that's becoming rarer and often reserved for premium species or short supply. Farmed fish like salmon, tilapia, catfish, shrimp, and sometimes even clams are confined by the thousands to ponds or sea pens, eating a diet of GMO, soy, corn, animal byproducts, offal. Not even pigs get such a mix. On top of that comes a steady diet of growth hormones, often estrogen or testosterone copies engineered in a lab, along with antibiotics and chemical antifungals to keep the teeming aquatic crowd alive. The feed itself can contain dyes, flavor agents, and various plumping additives to make the flesh look pink and build yield quickly for sale. The result? Fish that grow up to 3 times faster, but carry residues of everything in their feed and water. When you eat them, you're getting cancer-linked hormones, antibiotic traces, pesticide residues, metals, and chemicals with every bite, contributing to the spread of antibiotic resistance, the rise of hormone interruptions in children, and inflammatory risks tied to heart, brain, and immune problems. Shellfish are natural cleaners, but in the modern world, their filter feeding exposes them to every toxin or pathogen in the water. The Chesapeake is infamous for agricultural runoff, sewage sludge, and storm overflows. Parts of the Gulf of Mexico, Louisiana, and Mississippi regularly test positive for dangerous bacteria and industrial chemicals. Bacteria, viruses, forever chemicals, pesticides, even PFAS from firefighting foam and microplastics build up in mussels and oysters. In the worst cases, entire harvests have sickened thousands at a time. Hepatitis from California clams, norovirus, and bacterial outbreaks traced to Gulf oysters, and China's vast 1988 clam disaster, when toxic dump runoff poisoned nearly 300,000 people. Crab, crawfish, and shrimp often come from soup ponds, nowhere near clean. These crustaceans are frequently dyed with artificial colors and packed with sodium bisulfite, formaldehyde, or other secret preservatives that turn gray, bland animals into bright, fake, fresh shellfish for the supermarket. In 2025 alone, 240 shipments of foreign shellfish and shrimp were seized by the FDA for illegal additives, formaldehyde, and banned antibiotics. Astonishingly, wild-caught labels may only mean the critters spent the last few days of life in the wild after growing up in industrial ponds miles away and crossing oceans to get here. Predatory fish accumulate not only mercury, PCBs, dioxins, and arsenic, but radioactive fallout. The radioactive bluefin tuna caught off the West Coast in 2014 had spent years migrating from Fukushima's nuclear disaster zone in Japan, yet still showed up on American tables. Shockingly, most fish sold in the U.S. isn't even tested for radiation at all. The EPA and FDA only run spot checks, and there are virtually no comprehensive post-processing screens unless a major incident is suspected. Plastics outnumber plankton in some ocean regions now. Microplastics have been detected in nearly every kind of seafood, fish, clams, oysters, even in deep-sea crabs. Fish eat plastics thinking they're food, which means humans swallow plastics loaded with PCBs, pesticides, dioxins, heavy metals, and plasticizers. They are persistent and only get more toxic as they concentrate up the food chain, with scientists warning that if it's in the water, it's in the fish, and then it's in you. Global seafood distribution is an epic shell game where mislabeling, swaps, and fraud are common. DNA barcoding shows that up to 30% of supermarket fish is not what the label claims, often lower quality species or farm substitutes. There's no reliable tracking system in the US. Barcodes can be dodged or faked, and fresh fish might have been frozen in Asia a year ago, then defrosted and labeled previously frozen or recaught. By the time you choose it at the counter, its true origin and history are a murky mystery. Processing multiplies the risks. Fish is often sent abroad for processing in countries where food safety enforcement is missing or corrupt. Fillets and shellfish are soaked in chlorine, peracetic acid, and phosphate solutions banned in many countries to kill bacteria, improve texture, and bulk up weight. Many crustaceans are parboiled in chemicals before freezing and sometimes injected with colorants or formaldehyde. These chemicals leave residue that damages our gut flora, disrupts hormones, and in sensitive people may trigger allergies or cancer risks. Even scraps get ground up into mystery fish sticks, broths, and fake crab. You're not just eating a filly, but an industrial byproduct stew. The problems extend beyond hidden poisons. Processed frozen fish in the grocery aisle can be a Frankenstein's monster. Battered nuggets, fake crab, and breaded fish portions, bulked with starches, flavor enhancers, colorants, and even spreads of ground unknown species. Ingredient lists can hide everything from soy fillers to phosphate binders, gums, and fossil fuel-based preservatives. Seafood's parade of foodborne crises is ongoing. Hundreds of Americans get hit each year with scombroid poisoning, massive histamine overdoses from improperly handled or unrefrigerated tuna and mackerel, with symptoms imitating a heart attack. Outbreaks of salmonella, listeria, and norovirus from oysters, clams, and crab are regular news, and chronic low-grade contamination by mercury, pesticides, and PCBs are far worse, contributing silently to long-term health decay. The EPA advises children and pregnant women to avoid lake fish, limit tuna, swordfish, and king mackerel, and moderate all seafood intake due to risks that barely register on package labeling. Ocean damage worsens alongside the seafood on our plates. Between 75 and 199 million tons of plastics pour into the seas annually. There are now more than 500 coastal dead zones, with 100,000 plus animals dying every year from ghost nets, plastics, or chemical debris. Wild fish ingest this. Farmed fish swim in it. And what's left is a shrinking, increasingly artificial catch from a dying ecosystem. Even the purported health benefits of seafood are eroding. Farmed fish don't get their distinctive omega-3s, those heart-healthy fats, because their feed is plant-based, not marine-based. The real mineral profile is warped. Minerals are replaced by metals, and the protein is now watered down with saline, chemical gels, and flavor agents designed to trick your senses instead of nourish your cells. So next time you stroll the seafood section of your grocery store or freezer aisle, remember that fresh smell and pristine look are often as manufactured as a bag of chips. You might be choosing hormone-fed salmon, virus-laced clams, plastic-packed oysters, and antibiotic-infused shrimp, all chains in a game of global misdirection and chemical hazard. No nutrition label tells this story. What was once the cleanest protein on Earth has been transformed into a chemistry experiment. The barcode will rarely reveal the truth, and the flavor is too often synthetic shadow play. The risks are invisible but real. Hormone signals in kids, antibiotic resistance, cancer-causing chemicals, metabolic trouble, silent allergies, and more than anything, a world in which even the healthiest, oldest foods have become modern mysteries. Fruit might look natural, but now most of it is bigger, flashier, and grown for more yield. Farmers use lots of chemicals to make fruit grow fast and last longer. Apples, strawberries, grapes, and oranges get sprayed with pesticides like imidacloprid, fludeoxonil, or azoxystrobin. These protect against bugs and mold, but can linger even after washing. Many store fruits get a bath or a scrub before you see them. Some, like oranges, limes, and apples, are coated with edible wax made from carnauba or petroleum. Others are washed in alkaline solutions or chemical detergents. Some fruits are dyed or painted to enhance their color. Citrus red 2 is used to dye orange rinds. Red delicious apples and maraschino cherries may be colored too. 2. If a fruit is extremely shiny, it may be sprayed or beautified for shelf appeal. To keep fruit fresh for shipping and months of storage, farms use preservatives and shelf life sprays. These might include chemical fungicides or coatings with propylene glycol. Olives and pickles are soaked in brine with citric acid or calcium chloride to preserve color and texture. This keeps fruit looking good after long travel. Some fruit is irradiated at packing plants. Radiation helps kill bacteria and pests and delays ripening. This means your pineapples, strawberries, or apples can travel farther and last longer. Data shows irradiation doesn't destroy nutrition or make food radioactive, but it may reduce some vitamins and change flavor for sensitive eaters. Examples include apples and papaya shipped from Hawaii or Florida. GMOs play a huge role in modern fruit. GMO apples resist browning. GMO papayas survive ring spot virus. Pink pineapples, GMO squash, and potatoes are modified for shelf life, texture, or resistance. Genetic changes are made in labs with DNA techniques, and the traits carry through every bite. GMO fruit can, for some, trigger allergies or change the way your immune system reacts. Critics worry about long-term effects, and some countries ban certain GMO fruits. The science is debated, but the label does not always tell the whole story. In short, today's fruit has become a science project. It is washed, sprayed, painted, and sometimes irradiated to survive travel and fit the grocery shelf. When you grab a shiny apple, you might get wax, dye, fungicides, or DNA surprises. Fruit today can impress the eye, but might surprise your body too. The most chemically treated fruits that we eat today are usually strawberries, spinach, grapes, apples, cherries, nectarines, pears, peaches, and berries. These are often sprayed with many different pesticides and fungicides to keep their color and stop spoilage. Strawberries can show over 30 pesticide residues after washing. Grapes and apples usually have wax coatings or shine-enhancing sprays added at the packing house. Oranges and apples are sometimes dyed for a brighter shelf color. Citrus red 2 is used on some orange skins, and red delicious apples may be colored to boost appeal. Imported papayas, mangoes, dragon fruit, and longan fruit are commonly irradiated to kill pests and help survival during travel. Irradiation does not leave radioactive residue but may change taste or lower some vitamins. Olives and pickles use brine with citric acid or calcium chloride for long-lasting freshness and color. Supermarket maraschino cherries feature synthetic dyes and preservative baths to keep them bright red. Most of these fruits can show traces of chemical sprays, colorants, GMO traits, or preservation agents when tested after harvest. The Dirty Dozen list from the EWG Environmental Working Group names strawberries, spinach, grapes, apples, cherries, nectarines, pears, peaches, and various berries as the most contaminated fruits in today's stores. These fruits not only get exposed to several synthetic sprays, but are sometimes treated with wax, dye, or irradiation for a longer shelf life, and better fruit today has lost a lot of the nutrition it once had. Farming methods focus on yield, shelf life, and perfect appearance. From 1960 to now, apples contain 38% less nutrients. Other fruits like oranges, strawberries, peaches, and bananas show similar losses. Minerals like calcium, iron, magnesium, and vitamins like A and C are much lower, sometimes even cut in half. Over-farming stretches soil thin. Farms use the same fields every year, add chemical fertilizers, and rely on fast-growing fruit varieties. This process is good for making more fruit, but bad for minerals and vitamins. Quick-growing fruit cannot pull nutrients from the earth like older varieties did. Apples in the past were sometimes eaten by worms, but that was a good sign. If worms wanted your apple, it meant there were fewer chemical sprays or coatings. Today, apples are heavily treated with pesticides, fungicides, and sometimes covered with edible wax or washed in chemical solutions. Yes, they're worm-free, but they often come coated in chemicals instead. The color and shelf shine of fruit are now engineered. Apples, oranges, lemons, and cherries can be painted or dyed to cover up natural blemishes and age spots. Whiter or more colorful fruit may even hide chemical baths or preservation treatments. Chemicals like imidacloprid, fludeoxonil, citrus red 2, or waxes like carnauba and polyethylene are commonly used. In short, you might need to eat 4 or 5 apples today to match the nutrition found in a single apple from the 1960s. Over-farming, chemical use, and focus on appearances have changed fruit from a true health food into a manufactured product. Next time you see a perfect apple, think twice. Sometimes good fruit is ugly, and ugly fruit is better for you. Fruit is handled by lots of people at every step. Each handoff can add germs, risking contamination and illness. In 2023, peaches, nectarines, and plums caused a deadly listeria outbreak in the United States. 11 people across 7 states got sick. 1 person died, and 1 pregnant woman had preterm labor. Listeria can survive on fruit skin after packing and handling. The same year, frozen organic strawberries from Baja California, Mexico, spread hepatitis A to people in several U.S. states. People ate the fruit straight or blended it in smoothies. About 8 out of 8 sick people told the CDC they ate those strawberries right before getting symptoms. Similar hepatitis A outbreaks hit from California strawberries in the 1990s. In recent cases, cantaloupe and fruit mixes with melon cubes spread salmonella in at least 15 states. Arizona had 7 cases, and several states reported 4 or more. Markets involved included Aldi, where pre-cut fruit sat in open containers. Sometimes ill food handlers pack fruit, as happened in several outbreaks linked to melon, date, and orange packing plants. In 2011, contaminated apples with listeria sickened buyers in several states. Caramel apples became risky after listeria survived in wax coating or got embedded during packing. Any fruit touched many times and not washed well before eating can spread bacteria or viruses. Even perfect-looking fruit can carry invisible microbes that cause major outbreaks. Fruit used to be picked and eaten right from the branch. Today, farms grow for mass appeal and storage. Apples, strawberries, and grapes are grown for size and shine, with very little focus on true nutrition. Modern fields use chemical fertilizer, heavy irrigation, and fast-growing hybrids to push yield. The soil loses minerals and trace nutrients every year, leaving fruit looking perfect but offering less nourishment in each bite. Chemical sprays are almost always part of the story. Farmers use pesticides like imidacloprid and fungicides such as fludeoxonil to keep bugs and rot away. Apples, grapes, pears, and berries are some of the most heavily sprayed, often showing dozens of synthetic residues after washing. After picking, fruit may be treated with wax. Apples, citrus, and some plums get coatings of carnauba or petroleum wax to lock in color and stay glossy. Some fruits get dyes like citrus red 2 on oranges and artificial red on cherries or apples. These treatments make the fruit sell better, but do nothing for your health. Storage and shipping add new risks. Fruit travels weeks before hitting store shelves, so it is sprayed with preservatives, gassed with ethylene, or sometimes irradiated to stop mold and pests. Apples are often held in cold warehouses for months. During that time, chemicals like diphenylamine can migrate to the fruit's surface or combine with wax coatings. Imported papayas and mangoes are often irradiated at the packing plant. Radiation prevents rot and pests, but may lower some vitamin content and alter flavor. Fruit can become contaminated by more than farm chemicals. Irrigation water can contain bacteria from animals or sewage. Unwashed hands, dirty bins, and packing equipment can transfer germs. In 2023, listeria on peaches and plums sickened people in 7 states. Hepatitis A spread on Mexican strawberries and melons from multiple suppliers have triggered salmonella outbreaks. Heavy metals like lead and cadmium sometimes show up in fruit or in processed juices. Soil pollution and cheap packaging are to blame. Some fruit may also pick up residues from animal-based fertilizers or polluted compost. In recent years, test results have found toxic metals in popular juices made from strawberries, apples, and pineapple. In the end, the perfect fruit is often a sign of industrial care, not nutrition. Ugly, blemished fruit attracts worms and bugs, which often means it is safe for you to eat. Modern mass-market fruit is more likely to be coated, colored, and gassed to look ideal. Every shine and flawless spot might be a whisper of forgotten vitamins and a tale of chemicals left behind. Bad or rejected fruit rarely goes to waste. It gets sent to the pie filling and canned fruit departments, where it is covered and sweetened and even colored. Stores use fruit with bruises, strange shapes, or dull color that supermarkets reject. After washing and slicing, these cherries, peaches, and apples are transformed into fillings for pies, puddings, jams, and fruit gels. Canned cherries, especially maraschino cherries, give the brightest and most artificial warning signs. These are packed with sugar, corn syrup, vanillin, and thickened with gums. Red dyes such as Red 3 and Red 40 are often used for the cherry's color. They can carry benzidine, a known cancer risk. Some brands use erythrocene as a dye, which can cause phototoxicity. Preservatives like sodium benzoate and citric acid are added to keep the cherries firm and sweet as long as possible. Bisphenol A, BPA, can leach into these cherries from the can lining, affecting hormones in your body. These ingredients and chemicals may cause problems for digestion, liver function, and even cancer risk over time. Now for a lighter warning, the mighty fruit sticker. Stickers are slapped on apples, pears, bananas, and most other fruit for store codes and branding. Sometimes stickers are not removed and get eaten by mistake. The FDA says fruit stickers are made from non-toxic glues and plastic films. Accidentally eating one is not supposed to hurt you, but stickers are not food. If you ignore the sticker, it could sneak into a smoothie or a fruit salad and remain undigested. The flavor is bland, the nutrition non-existent, and the sticker will pass through your body like a confused barcode. If fruit had real labels for everything in and on them, most people would prefer the sticker over all the hidden chemicals they do not see. In the end, the story of store-bought fruit finishes at the pie filling and canned fruit aisle. The fruit is coated, colored, preserved, and stickered before your meal. Real fruit's wild side is rejected, but the modified side is a star in every dessert. Sometimes the only thing real is a sticker that nobody wants to eat. This ends part 3. Please continue to part 4. The link to purchase the book on Amazon is in the comments section below.